Doing well. So in this tutorial, we'll learn about arrays and strings in C++. So we'll learn to declare how to initialize and access array elements in C++ programming language with the help of some examples. So in C++, array is a variable and let me just open this up. Yeah, so in C++, array is a variable that can store multiple values of the same data type. For example, suppose a class has 27 students. So we need to store grades of all of them. So instead of creating 27 separate variable, we can simply create an array. So we can declare it like this: double. It is declaring double is nothing but indicating a type of an array. This is the name of an array, that is grade, and in square bracket we will specify what is the size, how many elements it can accommodate. So 27 we have written here, right? So in C++, the size and type of an array cannot be changed after a declaration. So syntax of an array declaration is just like, I will just open my whiteboard. So now here you can see a syntax of an array would be, first of all, we should write the data type. What data type we are using. So data type, after writing this data type, after giving a space in between, we will write the array name, whatever be the array name, and then in square bracket we will specify what is the size of an array. So this is basically the syntax or syntax of array declaration in C++. Like we can say int specify the data type, and x, and in square bracket we will specify how many elements it can accommodate. So 6 elements. Yeah. Now we'll see that how to access elements of an array. In C++, each element of an array is associated with a number. The number is known as array index. We can access elements of an array by using those indexes. So let's suppose how to access any array. So first of all, we should write the array name, and in square brackets we should specify what is the index of that array. Correct. So now let's consider the X array only. Okay, whatever we have declared. So X, and then 6 elements were there. Okay. So now how it is being declared in a memory, in a computer memory, computer will just create sequence wise 6 memory spaces: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and let's suppose sixth. Okay. So now we will talk about what do we mean by the indexes. Or the index is nothing but a number. It is just like an address of our home. Okay, so address of that particular location. So now here I will specify the indexes. It will start from 0, and then it will go on up to the last one. So here you can see last element is 5 at 5 position. So how to access this element? Let's suppose we want to access this element. So we should specify first of all the name of the array, that is X, this way, this time, and then we have to specify the index, that is the address. So here if we write this, so computer will show whatever it is present, whatever is present here, be it a 31, be it any number, okay, any location, it will be accessible using this kind of in syntax. Yeah, so few things we should remember here. So array indexes starts again only and only from 0. Yeah, this is the syntax, right? And that means x zeroth position will hold what? It is the first element stored at the index 0, we can say. And if the size of an array is, let's suppose, n, so the last element is stored at the index number of index would be what? Its index would be n minus 1. Here in this case, you can see the size of an array is 6, but last index is nothing but 6 minus 1, that is 5. Yeah, so that is the thing. Correct, we should remember here in the array. So in this example, x5 is the last element, x and fifth. Okay, and here it is the nothing but the last element. Please note that here the elements of an array have consecutive addresses. For example, suppose starting address of this x array, integer array, let's suppose it is 2 1 anything. Okay, so 2120, let's suppose starting address is this. Yeah, then the address of the next element, that is x1, so address of this would be what? 2124, and again address of this would be what? 2128. Correct. So here the size of each element is increased by 4 plus 4, here also plus 4 if we do, right? Why? Because this is because the size of an integer is 4 bytes. Size of an integer is 4 bytes, as we have declared this array as an integer array. Data type is integer. That's why it is just using 4 bytes of the memory space. Okay. So yeah, that is all about we need to remember. Now let's talk about array initialization. So in C++, it's possible to initialize an array during declaration. For example, here you can see we are declaring or we are actually initializing also this array here. Here only in the single line. Okay, so this is a way to declare an array. Yeah, so that is making what? That is actually storing these, 19, 10, 8, 17, 9, 15 like this. Let me just write it here. So this will store what? 19, 10, and 8. Okay. And then you can see here 17, 9, and 15. This is how computer will store internally these values. So 17th, 9, and you can say 8 or 15, anything, right? So now another method to initialize array during declaration is like this also. We can't, there is no need to specify, always the size. So we will just specify these elements. Now what computer will do, here we have not mentioned the size of an array. In such cases, the compiler automatically compute the size. So this is another way to declare an array. Now in C++, if an array has a size, you can say size 6 or size n. But we can, that means what? We can store up to n number of elements in an array. However, what will happen if we store less than n numbers of elements? For example, let's suppose we are storing only 3 elements, 1, 2, 3, but size is what? Size is 6 here. Right. So here array has a size of 6. However, we have initialized with only 3 elements. In such cases, compiler assign some random value to the remaining places. So computer will do what? Compiler will assign first of all 19, 10, and 8 to these locations. And what happened to remaining? It will store any garbage value. And generally, quite often it is being seen that generally taken value is nothing but 0. But yeah, it can hold any garbage value because we have not initialized, we have not provided any detail here, right? So this is all about, like if we specify, if we just declare some numbers, or if we will feed some number less than the array size. So that is what is going to happen internally. Yeah. So now, okay. So now let's see that how to insert and print array elements with the help of an example. So I have here my online editor, online GDB compiler. So here you can see a simple program in hash include IOStream, since we are using namespace and as std, so that we can directly use cout. Okay, instead of using std and then we have to provide the colon. Okay, so instead of that I'm just making use of cout. So here in main function what we are doing, we are declaring an integer type of array which whose name is nothing but numbers, right? And it is of size 5, so we can store 5 elements into it. So we are storing here, right? Now suppose we want to take input from the user, correct? So first of all what we should write, first of all we should write or some suppose we just want to first of all say what we have to say, or we have to declare, we have to print that the numbers are what in the array, right? So for that I have run what I we have actually run a you can say run this for loop, right? Loops are nothing but they are used to iterate the values, or they are used to repeat the values. So how does it work? Actually, in a for loop, there are three things. So one is an initialization of condition, and that is a second one is nothing but condition check will be there, and after that updation. So how it is happening? First of all, computer will take I value as 0, then it will just bring, it will just see, and it will just put that I value whatever wherever it can see I within these curly brackets. So here I have written what cout numbers, that is an array name, And then in square bracket, what we used to provide, we have to provide an addressing. So here, or indexing, right? So that means it will take zeroth position. So in this array, at zeroth position, that means the first element is nothing but 7. So 7 will get printed. After that, some space will be provided, and then again computer will come at the end of the for loop. Then again it will come here. It will come here, and then it will check for this condition, if I is less than 5 or not. So I is 0, I is less than 5, then it will just increment that I. If this condition satisfies, then it will proceed here. Then after incrementing the value of I, it will execute again this line. So numbers, and then its first index, at the first index what is present, so it will be displayed. Okay, so likewise it is happening. Yeah, the loop up to 4, I equal to 4 only, this loop will run. Why? Because I is less than 5. If I value will become 5, so this condition will become false. As soon as this condition become false, so computer will come out of this loop, out of this end curly bracket. Okay, so let's run this program and see. Here when we are running this program, so you can clearly see numbers are 7, that is 7 here. Okay, after giving a space, 5, 6, 12, and 35, it is coming, right? So that is how, it is working. We have to actually to retrieve, or to take, or to print all the values of the array, or the members of the array. We have to make use of what? We have to make use of for loop. Okay, or any loop you can make, okay, to iterate the numbers, right? So here, now, okay, what we have to do actually, when we want to take input from the user also, so what can we do here? Let me just write something. Okay, so here you can see already is present. So X is my array of 6 element. Okay, what if I want to take some input from the user? So if you want to take some input from the user, so I will be writing, let's suppose I want to, provide something at the third position, or you can say at the second index. That means what? 0, 1, 2. In place of 8, I want to just feed some value. I want to check, or I want to enter, I want my user to enter some value. Then only I can store that at this particular location in place of 8. So so let's first of all run this program. And now what is the C out actually? Here, just above C out, you can see X fourth position. Okay, in X array at fourth index. At fourth indexing means what? It is at 0, then 1, 2, 3, and 4. That means what? In place of 9. Okay, let's suppose I want to write something new. Let me just write it here. In place of 9, I will be writing. Oh, let me just stop it again. Okay, so now let me just change this value as 17, because I want to replace this value, let's suppose. Okay, or 19, correct? So let's see, if I am just replacing this value as 19, so what will be present now in my X array? Okay, so X is the name of the array. Let me just run this code, and you can see the new value will get printed here. Okay, see out, and the new value X4. Okay, that is the latest one here. So it is being printed. Now it is asking for some input, right? So let me just put here 23. Let me press enter. So here you see third element. Third element means 0, 1, 2. Okay, which is present here, which is 8. But now it is what? It would be 23, because we have entered it, okay, explicitly. So this is how array works. Yeah, and yeah, I hope that you got this concept, okay, of for loop. Like, it is used to iterate the values. Okay, it is going to iterate the value until and unless it this condition will get, you can say, this condition will become false. Okay, so now I would like to tell you about array out of bounds. Okay, sometimes we can, hear about this term, like array out of bounds. That means what? Suppose we declare an array of size, let's suppose array of size 6. Okay, this is array of size 6. And then the array will contain elements from indexing 0 to 5, right? Because 6 minus 1, that is 5. Yeah, we discussed about this thing. However, if we try to access the element at index number sixth, let's suppose sixth element, because it is up to 0 and 5 only. But what if I try to access, let me remove this up, okay, and then this also, let me just remove. And let's suppose we want to access its sixth element, which is not here, okay, which is not present. So in that case, when I run this program, so you can see one is being printed, okay? Any garbage value it will print, right? So this is how, this is the way, this is when computer will just throw, or computer will show any garbage value. Okay, so this concept is actually called as array out of bound, and it will result in undefined behavior. Yeah, we should not use this thing. Correct. But arrays are not only one dimensional. We just talked about one dimensional arrays, right? So we can just, we are just declaring that how many elements we can store in it, right? This is an example of an one dimensional array. But what about multi-dimensional array? Yeah, so but we can also make actually multi-dimensional array also. Now we will learn about these arrays in C++. Yeah, so more specifically, we will see that how to declare multi-dimensional array, right? And then how to access them and to use them efficiently in our program. So in C++, we can create an array of an array. Yeah, this is known as actually multi-dimensional array. For example, let me just take an example. So let's suppose I am declaring a multi-dimensional array of integer type, and then I am just naming it as x, okay, and 3 and 4. So what does this mean? Here x is a two-dimensional array, okay, it can hold a maximum of how many elements? 3 into 4, that is nothing but 12 elements. Okay, how it is happening? Actually, we can think of this as an as a table with three rows, and each row has four columns like this: row 1, row 2, row 3. And you can say here column 1, column 2, column 3, and column 4. Let's suppose I am declaring it as a matrix, or you can say as a table having three rows and four columns, right? This will be indicated like this, okay, in computer memory. We can think of it as, yeah, we can organize this. So, or we can visualize it as three one dimensional array, like three one dimensional array. This is one dimensional array of four elements, one dimensional array of four elements again. Okay, so we can just represent it as three one D array type structure, right? So this is another way, three-dimensional array also works in a similar way. Actually, it is an example of two-dimensional array, right? So what's happened when we declare three-dimensional array? Let me just declare it like anything, okay? So float x, so 2 and 4, and let's suppose 3. Yeah, so this array x can hold what? A maximum of 2 into 4 into 3 equals to how much? 24, right? So it can hold a maximum of 24 elements in it. Yeah, so we can find out total number of elements in an array by simply multiplying its dimensions. Okay, so it is a three-dimensional array, so three elements were present, so we just multiplied them together. Here also we multiplied them together, yeah, to get to know about the highest number or maximum number of elements it can accommodate. Yeah, so now let's talk about a multi-dimensional array in an online compiler. Like a normal array, we can initialize a multi-dimensional array in you can say more than one way. So one way is that we can directly initialize it. I have not provided any curly brackets here, right? I have just provided in a single go. But it is not a good practice. A better way to initialize this array with the same array element would be like this: integer first of all, and then we will define the name of that array, then the dimension like 2 and 3, okay, same as we discussed about, right? So now here you see, in a very big array we have two small arrays, right? So two small arrays were there, and now here you see that those two small arrays are having what? Three elements in them, right? So that means what? It is indicating two small arrays in a big array, okay, having three elements in each of them. Correct. So yeah, this is how we can initialize a two-dimensional array. Correct. So better way that always we are going to make use of this kind of notation rather than using this. Yeah. So initialization, now let's see about some three-dimensional array. It is an example of a three-dimensional array. So the initialization of three-dimensional array would be like this. Yeah. So here you see there is a big structure, okay, big array. Inside that big array, we have divided it into one and two parts, two major parts, like this. Okay, this is indicated by this two. Then we are just dividing that big array, this big array, into three parts. Okay, three parts, one, comma, two, comma, third array. And then 4 indicates what? 4 indicates the number of elements present in the smallest array, okay, like innermost array, you can say. Correct. So these are 4 elements, this is having 4 elements, and similarly, this also, okay, we can just think of it as like, yeah, like an array of arrays, okay. So we can actually declare more dimensional, but the complexity keeps on increasing, okay, when we move further. Correct. So let's see how to display all the elements, of an initialized two-dimensional array. Let me just open a page. So here you see IOStream, okay, and the namespace we have used. Now in this main function, integer type of array we are actually dealing with. So now here you see test is the name of the array, and then 3 and 2. Okay, so we have to actually make three small arrays of two elements. Okay, so here you see one array comma two array, second array, and then third array, right? And you know that compiler is going to just ignore these spaces, so we can just give spaces for our sake, for our reading purpose, right? So we have provided like this. So this is a multi-dimensional array. Now how to access elements from these? Yeah, to access, in this example you can see we have initialized two-dimensional array, okay, which is having, you can say, three rows and two columns. This is how we can visualize, yeah, in a different way. Correct. So two-dimensional int array named test, right? It has three rows and two column, okay, rows and column, like we used to write in the matrix. You can think of it as, right? Now here we have used nested for loop. Here you see one for loop is there, and inside that another for loop is there. Okay, so what is happening in this for loop? So it is having an I value. I is initialized to 0. Okay, so first of all it will take I value as 0 and it will come here. So now here also we have declared another variable named as j. J is also having 0 here, okay, as of now. So here you see out, we are first of all printing it as it is, test, and these square brackets, and then we want to do what? We want to declare what is the I value. So here I is 0. In this time, I is 0, right? So it will print 0, test 0th, and J is also 0 this time. So 0 it will print. But you see here, in test array, first element would be what? I. So I is 0, and then second element is also 0. Yeah. So to access this first element, okay, so let me just write it here. Okay, to let me just open a new space. Correct. So now let's suppose what is the array actually. So my array would be what? Test is the name. Correct. So now here, let me just write it here. Okay, there is a big array. Okay, so array are declared within these curly brackets. Okay, so whatever we are going to write here, that indicates an array. Correct. So test and then 3, then 2 also we have to declare. That indicates what? Let's suppose here it is, I am just declaring 2 comma minus 5, okay, and then separated by comma, 4 comma 0, again separated by comma, anything, so 9 comma 1, right? So that indicates what? First of all it has to choose these things. First of all it will come here, so that indicates what? Now the indexing will start from 0 only, 0th position, first position, and second index. It is means at 0th, first and second indexing, these are the I'm sorry, small arrays present. Okay, so now these small arrays is also having indexing from 0 to 1, 0 1 0 1 0 1, right? So when we are writing test, zeroth and zeroth. That indicates what? This 2 is going to be printed, because first of all it will see the outermost. Okay, so it will just choose out of these three, right? So first of all it will just choose this. What if we want to declare or we want to print this? So we should write what? We should write test, and then first we have to choose one, yeah, outermost, and then we should write zeroth and first. Yeah, it is present at the first position, right? So we can write 1. This is how we can access the elements of an array. Correct. And here you see my for loop is doing what? First of all, I value is 0 and j value will become 0 and j value will become 1 also. Okay. So yes, its part is clear. Okay. Then it will come here. Then it is going to increment my I value as 1. Right. So when my I value is 1, it will just check for what? J value is 0 and then 1. Okay. Like this. It keeps on going, keeps going on. Okay. So up to the array, you can say length. Correct. So here this is how it is being displayed. Let me just run this code. You will see. So at test 1 1, okay, what is there? 0. Okay, so at 1 1, that means what? Okay, whatever we also have learned about this thing. Okay, at 1 1, what is there? 0 is present. Correct. And then 2 0. Let's see at 2 0 what is present actually. Right? At 2, I equals to 2 and j equals to 0. Right? So that means what? First of all, we have to select this, and then zeroth element is 9. Yeah, so 9 is being printed. Yes, 9 is there, right? And then test 2 and 1. So test 2 and 1, so at second index, and then what is the first? You can say innermost, first element of the innermost array, right? So innermost array is having 1 in it. So yes, 1 will get printed. Okay, so you should understand the logic behind it. I hope you are getting this thing. Yeah, so this is how we can access the elements from this dimensional, you can say two-dimensional array, multi-dimensional arrays. Correct. We can just we can use, so many nested for loops if we will be dealing with three-dimensional, four-dimensional, all those arrays. Yeah. And what about now? We are going to talk about what? We are going to talk about, you can say, strings in C++. Okay. So what are the strings in C++? Actually, in this part, you will learn to handle strings in C++. You will learn to declare them, initialize them, and use them for various input output operations. So first of all, what is a string? So string is a collection of characters, character arrays also sometimes we can say. So actually there are two types of string commonly used in C++. So one is nothing but you can say one first part is strings that are objects of a string class. So string is a, you can say, predefined library in the C++ language. So we can make use of an object out of that class. Or second one is nothing but C style strings. Because let's discuss about first of all C style strings. What are these? In C programming language, the collection of character is stored in form of an array. So this is also supported in C++ programming. So hence it is called as C styled arrays or C strings also, or C strings. Yeah, just C strings also we can say. So C strings are the array of type character terminated with null character. So what do we mean by actually null character? Null is declared like this. Okay, this is called as what? Null character. Correct. So ASCII value of actually this character is 0. Yeah. But we are not going into detail as of now. So how to define a C string first of all, right? So let's see C style string, how to declare it. So we can just simply write, let me just show you something. So here is the part. Here can you see character and then str is the name of an array, just like we declared an array. So it is an array of type what? Of type character, right? So here you see there are so many ways to declare, right, an array. So here we are writing what? In double quotes. I am writing C++. But how internally computer is computer is storing it? So computer is going to store it like this: C++ and then this null character as well. This is called as actually null character. Okay, backslash followed with 0. Okay, this is called as a null character. So although here you see in this code, str is a string and it holds 4 characters. How come 4? Although C++ is having what? Three characters only, but the null character is added to the end of the string automatically. Even if we don't write this, so computer is going to automatically store that thing, okay, at the end of any array. Correct. So now alternate ways of defining a string is like this, okay, like I am declaring size as of here, okay, on the at the time of declaring itself. And this is also the way we can declare, okay, like in form of an array in the curly brackets. Correct. So now this is a program, like let me just show you one program to display a string enter by user, okay, like it will ask a user to enter any string. Correct. So we have defined an array of character type, so it is having size of what? 100 characters it can store. Okay, characters means alphabet it can store. So now see out, I am just printing out enter a string, then I will take something from the user, and then you entered, I will be showing you entered what I user have entered in this, okay, in this particular string. Correct. In this particular string array, you can say. Correct. And then here enter another string after giving a slash n, that is nothing but for the new line. Okay, we used to write. And then here see in str, again I am just writing something into str. Then you see it will be printed what? Like it is going to print that particular another string, right? Let's see. First of all, let me run it. So enter a string. So let me just print Diksha, okay? And then you enter Diksha and enter another string. So let me just write hello space world. Correct. So I am writing like this. Correct. So now here you notice you entered hello. Now where is my world? Okay. As we have discussed in the previous classes as well. Okay. Why it is not been printed? This is because the extraction operator, that is this. Okay. Extraction operator. Yeah, it works as a scanf in C language, yeah, and consider a space as a terminating character. That's why it is getting terminated. Yeah. So what we have to write now, I will show you program through which we can, we can just read the line of, you can say line of text. Correct. So this is a C program to read and display the entire line entered by user. Can you see this thing? Yes, this is a program, this is a predefined function that we are going to discuss about. Yeah, to read the text containing blank space, we use scene.get. Scene.get function can be used actually. Yeah, this function takes two argument. First argument is what? First argument is the name of the string, okay, and the second argument is the maximum size of that array, yeah, of that string, you can say. Yeah, in the this program, str is the name of the string, correct, and then 100 is the maximum size of the array. Okay, that's why here also str and 100 I have provided, right? Now it's time to actually, now let's see. First of all, let me just run this code. You entered what? Okay, so first of all, let me just write hello world. Okay, I'm just writing this. So yes, it is printing that thing. Correct. Now it is working fine. So scene.get we should remember, okay, while making use of the character arrays. So we can just simply use dot get to read the text or line of text. Yeah. Now it is time to discuss about the second method to declare a string variable. Yeah. So using what? Using a string object. Here you can see we have not used what? Char, right? So here we are simply writing string, and then we are writing a variable name str. So that is nothing but an object of that string. Yeah. So you can also create a string object. This is a string object str in this case for holding the strings value. Unlike using that character arrays, string object has no fixed length and can be extended as per our requirement. Okay, that's why we are using this. So here in this example, a string str is being declared. Okay, and then the string is asked from the user. Okay, like we are just asking that enter a string. Now you remember we discussed about getLine function to get all the line of text, right? Instead of using, okay, so why we are using get instead of using cin, right? You can get entire line of text using getLine function. So getLine function takes what? As we have already discussed that getLine function takes the input stream as the first parameter, which is cin. right? And then second one is nothing but the location of the line to be stored, okay, like or you can simply think of it as a location of the array variable, right, where we want to store. Correct. So now one more thing, yeah, so let me open this. So these are nothing but these are the C++, actually C++ supports a wide range of functions that can manipulate null terminated strings, because null, you can say, it is automatically being added at the end of any string, okay? So now here, what is this strcpy? So actually, as the name itself is suggesting, string copy. It is used to copy two strings. What it does, like it will just copies the string s2. So we can think of it as this is the source, this is the destination, okay? So my s2 will get stored into s1. My destination, or you can say this s2 value or s2 data is being stored in the this s1, right? And then strcat. So strcat stands for concatenate. Concatenate means what? In C++ or in case of strings, concatenates mean adding. Concatenates mean adding two strings together. So here, what if we write like this s1 and s2? So what it will do? It will just concatenate string s2 onto the end of string 1. So string 1 will be over. Then after that, it will just directly print s2 string. Okay, whatever is the data present in this s2 string. So now string len, it returns what? It returns the length when we want to know about the length of that string. So we can make use of strlen, and then around brackets we will specify which string we are talking about. Okay, so this is how we can get to know about the length. And then string compare, cmp stands for compare. So if we are comparing two string, what it will do? Computer will return 0 if they are same. Okay, and it will return less than 0 when s1 is less than 2, means its size, or you can say there are various aspects, okay? And then when it will return greater than 0 if s1 is greater than s2, right? So this is the way, they have actually they made these pre-built functions, so we should keep these in mind. Then strchr, what it is doing? S1, it will search, it returns a pointer to the first occurrence of this character ch, where it is present, actually, where it is present in this S1 string. Okay, so it will look for that particular character. Okay, so that is the use of string chr. And string str means what? Str stands for, it returns a pointer to the first occurrence of string this time. So s2 is a string. If we want to search a substring in a string, right? So we can make use of this str function. Actually, there are thousands of examples, but let's take an example which can make use of this few of the mentioned functions. Let me just open this up. So here you see a string str1 is there of size 10, where I have stored hello, and in str2 I have stored world. Correct. And str3 is an empty array which can store up to 10 max 10 variables, okay, or 10 elements. So here you see strcpy. Okay, we are copying. What we are copying? We are copying str1 data to str3. Right. So str1, what is present? Hello is present. So if we are copying all the data in s3, which is an empty string, so if we want to display that whenever at the moment we just use cout to display to print it. So what we will be getting? We will be getting hello in this str3, right? And then here you see it concatenates what? This is an example of concatenating string 1 and string 2 together. Okay, so here you see in string 1 hello is present, and in string 2 world is present. So whenever we are using this string cat, so strcat concatenate, so after str2 will be printed. Okay, and then that concatenated string will get stored in this str1 only, right? That's why we are printing this str1 here. Correct. And then last one is what? How to check the length. So we have actually created an integer type of variable len to store the length. So strlen, and let's suppose we want to actually see the length of this array. So what do you think is the length of the array? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then one for null character. Okay, let's see first of all. Let me just run this code. So first output we already have discussed. Yeah, hello will be there. And then after concatenating, if we declare, if we print this str1, yes, hello world would be there, right? So strle, okay, in str, now it is showing 10 character. Why so? So we have to actually see, like here when we are concatenating, so its length will get what? It will be modified, right? That's why it is showing like this. Correct. So this is how we can actually make use of these predefined functions. Yeah, so now we have declared, discussed about few of those functions, few of those, you can say, predefined functions. Now, another last way to, use a string concept is to make use of that library, which is called a string library, which is a header file. We should include first of all this file to make use of this string variable, okay, out of this string class. Because if we use this, so we can, make use of so many other things here. Let me just tell you. First of all, first and foremost step is to include this string library. Okay, after including this, what we are going to do here, so after declaring this, you can see here string, okay, which is the class, and str1 would be the object of this string class, right? And what we are storing, actually we are storing hello to it, right? And then str is another, we are just declaring another object of str2, we are just storing world to it. Then you can see this is an empty object, okay, of string class. Okay, fine. Now here you see how the things will become, so you can say so simple. Here you see, to copy string 1 into string 3, what we have to write, we just have to declare equals to assignment operator we are using. Okay, so here you see string 1 will get copied to string 3, yeah, as this is the functionality of assignment operator. And then see out, when we are just doing the see out, you will be seeing what, hello in the string 3, right? And then here you see, what about the concatenate operator? So in concatenation, we are just writing what, plus, okay, and plus stands for, like, plus is an arithmetic as well as concatenation operator. Yeah, as far as string is concerned, so along with string we are going to make use of this concatenation, we are going to say it as a concatenation operator. So here str1 plus 2, str1 plus 2 means what, hello world. Okay, same as before, right? So here you see we are simply using plus sign and we will be getting hello world as the final answer. And then, yeah, for length, we are not going to use now the alien part, but yeah, we have to write what? We have to make use of dot. This is a reference or access specifier, okay? So str3, string 3 dot size. What is the size of this string 3? Where we have concatenated these files, right? So it will show what? It will again show the same thing. Let me just choose the language. Yeah, can you see? Yeah, same thing we are getting here. Correct. So you can make out the difference now. Yeah, so I hope that the concept of arrays as well as strings are clear to you. So see you in the next lecture. So happy learning.